So you all remember when I said that I was going to start up Season 2 back in mid-January? Yeah, I lied. Welcome back to Season 2. I kind of changed the title a little bit because I thought Romeo's Discussions sounded a little too pretentious. You know, having your own name in the title sequence sounds a little egotistical. But don't worry, ego is still in check. But I decided to give it a title that has a little bit more of a ring and, again, doesn't sound too pretentious. So, welcome to R&D. This is technically, I guess, Season 1 of R&D, but it's Season 2 of Romeo's Discussions, but we'll figure that out later. But there's some movie news out there, well, actually more studio movie news that you are getting a video on. So, Monday night, it was announced in the wee hours of the night that Sony Entertainment was bringing Marvel Studios into the fold of their Spider-Man universe. And I think that that was just a nice way of Marvel saying, hey, we'll let you guys have the publicity for this while we reap the rewards. You can think that we're going into your universe, but in truth, you're actually coming into ours because you kind of messed it up. But that's unofficial. Guys, it finally happened. It finally happened. Spider-Man is now integrated, well, will be integrated into the Marvel Cinematic Universe, which is what everyone in the movie theaters and on the internet wanted to happen when the first Avengers came out. Everyone's like, where's Spider-Man? Why can't Spider-Man be in here? Well, now he can be in here. But the minutia of the plan is essentially Marvel gets to exploit Spider-Man. They don't have the rights back yet, but they are allowed to make their own kind of universe with him in it. Sony still maintains the rights. They get most of the profits, I believe. Maybe when they share films, they split it 50-50, like if he's in the Avengers or if he's in another film. We'll figure it out along the way. But guys, Spider-Man. Essentially what's going on is that Spider-Man is getting rebooted yet again in 2017, and he's going to be appearing in one of the Marvel Studios films before that. The huge answer that everyone's saying is that he will definitely appear in Civil War, which, of course, makes the most sense because Spider-Man is one of the key figures of that storyline. It's Cap versus Iron Man, and Spider-Man is torn in between. So, they can now do the story properly. There are some pros and some cons to this bit of news. Mainly, it's pro-heavy. I will say that, it's pro-heavy. But there are a few problems I have, and I'll get to those in a minute. But the pros, you know, everybody wins. Marvel wins, they get to put Spider-Man in the Avengers now, and Sony wins because now they're getting some great publicity again, and they just get to do stuff with him. I'm sorry, I'm excited. I'm excited that Sony has decided to work with Marvel because Sony is now at the point where they realize that they may not be the best to do this alone. They're saying, hey, we need some creative help on this. Hey, those guys at Marvel Studios know what they're doing. Let's get them in here. So, but to be fair, this is still Sony's property. Sony is still very much in creative control at this point, but they're asking for outside help with Marvel, which is one of the best decisions you could have ever made, Sony. I applaud you. Great job, guys. Now here come my negatives. My first negative, and this is something very trivial, it's that now they're having to rearrange most of the movies in Phase 3. Like, they had that big announcement back in October that showed their slate through 2019. Now that Spider-Man is into the fold, they're rearranging a bit of stuff. They're putting him into the July 2017 spot in replacement of Black Panther. He's one of my favorite comic book heroes of all time. He has great growth and great character potential that can be exploited. Chadwick Boseman's going to play him. You know, just, it was awesome across the board. But now, it's getting postponed until 2018. And I'm going, guys, that's your cash grab right there. That's where you can, you know, appeal to a more broader audience. And that film was going to be awesome, but now Spider-Man is replacing it. And from what it sounds like, when Captain America Civil War was announced, they announced, in addition to Iron Man being in it, they were going to have Black Panther in it. And my thought immediately, and I think the entire internet thought this as well, was that Black Panther was going to play the Spider-Man role, where he doesn't know which side to choose from, and he has to make the decision that benefits him and his country and his loved ones. And I was looking more forward to that than Peter Parker doing that. Because, look at it this way, Peter Parker doesn't have much to lose. Like, Black Panther would be dealing with the repercussions of choosing a side, not only for himself, but for his country. He is essentially representing the kingdom of Wakanda. Peter Parker represents Peter Parker. Maybe a little bit of Uncle Ben and Aunt May. But other than that, Peter Parker wouldn't have had that much weight on his shoulders. And that's why I was looking more forward to seeing Black Panther play that role instead of Spider-Man. That's a trivial gripe, just a few things getting pushed back. Maybe they have to redevelop their story arcs or their outlines for the stories. It's minute. My second problem with it is it's another damn reboot. Within the last 15 years, by that point, we would have had 3 Spider-Man franchises. We would have had the Sam Raimi Spider-Man trilogy, the Mark Webb Spider-Man duo, and then this new integrated Spider-Man. That's a lot for movie-goers to keep track of. For those people that don't keep track of movie news so frequently and so intensely like I do and like a lot of other podcasters do, it's going to come off as strange as to why they're getting another brand new Spider-Man film less than 4 or 5 years after the last one came out. By 2017, it would have been only 5 years since the new Spider-Man came out. So people might get a little confused, and it just seems trivial to just reboot it again. And it's also me kind of wishing that they could have kept Andrew Garfield, because he was a great Spider-Man. Let's be honest. Unfortunately, he came into the franchise at the wrong time when Sony was struggling, and when essentially they didn't know what the hell to do with Spider-Man. I'm a little hesitant on what they're going to do, and that's just me. It's just me saying that, you know, I wish they could have kept some of the continuity that they already had, but I guess if they're integrating it into the universe, they have to do a fresh start. So overall, it's great news. It's a win-win for Marvel and Sony. Like, the fans are happy. We get to have Spider-Man come back into the fold of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And there are a few gripes that I have, you know, rewriting the outline of the story that they're going for and just kind of shoehorning him into their Phase 3 movie slate and having to push back a couple things. It's trivial stuff. As I said, welcome back, and more videos will soon follow, so I will see you all out there.